Good day everyone. We are here to discuss our final project for integrative programming. So the program we choose to create is Blackjack, or sometimes called 21. So what is Blackjack? Blackjack is a card game which the goal is to beat the dealer by getting a count as close to 21 as possible without going over 21. This is the design part of our program. Now let us proceed to the code section of the program. First, the code begins with several using statements which imports namespaces that contain the necessary classes and functionality used in the program. Next, the code defines a namespace called BJ, short for Blackjack. Namespaces are used to organize and group related classes together. Inside the namespace, there is a class called Form1, which represents a Windows form. It serves as the main form for the application and contains all the controls and logic for the game. Within the Form1 class, there is a nested class called Card. This class represents a playing card and has two properties, which is rank and suit, which represent the rank and suit of the card respectively. The class also has a constructor and an overridden toString method. The Form1 class also contains several private fields, which is deck, player hand, dealer hand, and random. These fields are used to store the deck of cards, the player's and the dealer's hands, and an instance of random class for shuffling the deck.
The Form1 class has a constructor, Form1, which is called when an instant of a form is created. It initializes the form and calls the initialize game method. The generated deck method is a private method that creates a new deck of cards. It initializes arrays of suits and ranks and then iterates over them, creating card objects for each combination of suit and rank. The method returns the created deck. The shuffle deck method uses the Fisher-Yates algorithm to shuffle the deck of cards. It randomly swaps cards within the deck multiple times to achieve a randomizer order. The deal card method deals a card from the deck. It first checks if the deck is empty, and if so, calls the initialize game method to reset the game. Then, it receives the first card from the deck, removes it from the deck, and returns it. The deal card to player and deal card to dealer methods and are helper methods that deal a card to the player's and dealer's hand, respectively. They call the deal card method and add the dealt card to the corresponding list. The get hand value method calculates the value of a card in Blackjack. It iterates over each card in the hand and adds up the values based on the card's rank. Face cards like queens, kings, and jacks have a value of 10, and numeric cards have their face value. The method also handles the value of aces, which can be either 1 or 11 depending on the total value of the hand. If the total value of the hand exceeds 21 and there are aces present, the value of ace is reduced from 11 to 1 until the total value is less than or equal to 21. The method returns the calculated hand value.
The update UI method update the user interface UI elements of the form to reflect the current state of the game. It sets the text of the player and dealer score labels to display the current hand values. It also sets the text of the player and dealer card labels to display the card in their hand. The card labels are colored differently based on the card suit. Finally, the method checks for various game conditions such as pass or at blackjack and display the corresponding result label text. The initialize game method sets up the initial state of the game. It generates a new deck, creates empty player and dealer hands, shuffles the deck, deals 2 cards to the player and 2 cards to the dealer. It then calls update UI to update the form UI. The remaining methods, button deal click, button hit click, button stand click, are event handlers for the buttons on the form. They define the behavior when the user interacts with the buttons. For example, the button click method resets the game by calling initialize game while button hit click deals a card to the player and updates the UI. The button stand click method represents the player's decision to stand and triggers the dealer's turn. The dealer will keep dealing cards to themselves until their hand value reach 17 or more. After each action, the UI is updated and the result of the game is displayed in the result label. That step-by-step explanation of the provided code is a simplified implementation of a blackjack game, focusing on the core logic of card dealing, hand evaluation, and updating the UI.